Waiting for the conference host to join. If you are the conference host, please enter the conference PIN number now. Waiting for the conference host to join. If you are the conference host, please enter the conference PIN number now. Welcome to the conference.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. What's happening?
I'm just living the dream on a Friday afternoon.
I hear you. I hear you. So, fabulous. Okay, so this looks easy enough.
Yeah, so I was actually, I intentionally didn't enter the host pin.
Yep,
I was
I had a feeling, yep.
Yep. So I was just sitting essentially in that sort of lobby, that holding area.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you connected and entered your pin, it sort of let me move past that splash screen, that sort of hold screen. So everyone essentially waits until you join. They're permitted to connect, but nothing actually happens until you join and enter that host pin.
Okay. And so when I stream, I will have the streaming link that would either go to YouTube or, let's say, Wowza, and then I can decide through Wowza when to actually broadcast and go live from there.
Correct. You can decide in whatever the downstream workflow is, be that Wowza, YouTube, insert technology here. To us, we're just throwing a stream at something, and we don't know or care if it's just collecting it and recording it locally, or if it's then rebroadcasting out to 20 million people.
Okay, cool. Would be cool to know. So I am connected right now through Chrome. Would love to get a feel for the screen sharing application.
Yeah, that was. Yep. So that was something I wanted to walk you through as part of today's sort of toss you the keys exercise as well. So in terms of sort of options to connect into and use this, if you happen to have a panelist who's in a scenario like me with a sort of a traditional video conferencing endpoint or a Skype for Business client, if they'd prefer to use one of those sort of corporate tools, then that's an option. Sometimes people are just sort of more comfortable or more familiar with that, or it does a green screen thing like mine does. But I would imagine the vast majority of your panelists are going to use just the browser only thing. They're probably not going to have anything available to them. For that, if they have a choice, Chrome is going to be the best experience.
Okay.
There are a bunch of other different browsers that we support, but in terms of some things like screen sharing, for example, Chrome allows you, once you've installed that little extension, Chrome allows you to pick a specific application versus having to share your entire screen.
Yep.
I also, by the way, sometimes if I'm gonna, and you may have this set up already, but sometimes if I'm gonna have to sort of juggle a bunch of things, like I'm gonna present something, and then I'm also gonna be running some environment or clicking some IT type buttons in the background, I may actually physically connect a second screen, even if I don't directly quote unquote need it, just so I have kind of a separation between sort of the just for me to see screen and then the thing I want the world to see. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I typically have. I got a screen that Wirecast. I've got another screen I'm watching what attendees are seeing. The one I am administering. Yeah, it's like mission control here.
All right, got it. Okay. Okay, so once someone connects with Chrome, if they are going to share or present, then you do want to have them go through that workflow that you probably went through that very first time of click the share button. If they haven't installed that extension, then it does require them to just essentially say, yes, I agree to let this extension install. That is the one thing that is not just sort of baked in. So if they're going to just join, share their face, share their voice, talk, but not present, then they literally don't have to install anything. They can use just the browser that they already have.
Yep. Okay. And then again, when they share, their camera gets really minimized, and we're seeing their screen. And there's really no way to switch back and forth. It's just a question of whether when they stop screen sharing, then their camera will come back.
Correct. So and you can actually do it now, and then it'll be actually on the recording that we're creating into your YouTube account now. But yeah, so when you start sharing. And there is a bit of a difference between what we will experience as connected participants in this meeting versus what's going to be in the recording file on the other side of that RTMP link.
Yep.
So you and I are going to continue to see each other, and we will also have video content, or presentation content in wherever our device puts it.
Yep.
So my conference room video system is going to put it on my second monitor. You as the presenter will essentially have it on whatever your monitor configuration is there.
Okay.
But on the recording, it's going to take essentially the entire visual real estate will become the desktop or the application that you're sharing.
Okay.
And then in the upper right, so right about now.
Yep.
So right about now in the upper right on that recording, you should see only me. So you'll see this Truth on IT webinar PowerPoint content as essentially the whole screen, and then in the upper right, just my face talking. Now I will stop, and when you hold the floor for 2 seconds, then you will kick me out, and you will be the face in the upper right corner.
Okay, so let me hang on one second. Yeah. So what's interesting is that if I click now on the upper right corner, which in my view is a presentation, it's my screen share. If I click on that, then you swap. So you become in the inset, your feed, your camera feed, and the presentation takes up all the real estate.
Yes, and that's essentially that's local display management of just sort of what's shown where locally to you.
Yep.
On the recording, it doesn't know or care what you're doing locally.
Okay. And so what's being recorded right now is the PowerPoint, because that's what I am sharing, and my feed will be very minimized.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, if you just stop sharing at this point, then it will essentially drop back into just the two of us talking again.
Yep.
It'll show us both. So I actually wanted to screen share for you just to show you kind of some of the back end configurations, just so you know what's what and the sort of things that we can change if you should need to someday. So I'll go into your I should have pulled this up before. I apologize.
No
this
worries.
is the this is the back-end management interface of the conferencing platform that we're on. So this is just a display name mostly for our call detail records. This is that host pin that you entered. If this gets lost or compromised, then this can be changed. Just let me know what you want it to be changed to.
Okay.
This guest setting is what controls that people are permitted to connect and essentially wait in that lobby. If you wanted to go even more secure, then we could require a PIN for guests as well, which can be separate from your PIN. But generally, just sort of waiting until the host arrives is usually secure enough.
And right now, Spencer, you're sharing your whole desktop, not just the application, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I could have chosen just Firefox, but just because it was simpler, I did whole desktop. Yeah.
Okay.
So the view that we're currently in, we're set to essentially our default experience, which we call 1+7. We do have additional layouts if you're going to do much larger calls. So if you're going to have 15 or 20 people on, then maybe something like our 1+21 or our 2+21 would make more sense. So that's essentially what it sounds like as compared to having room for sort of 7 smaller images. It gives you room for 21 smaller images, and then whether it's I guess the primary use case for 2+21 is when you're sort of co-presenting something. There's maybe a host sitting where you are, and then a host sitting where I am, and then 15 people watching us have a back and forth conversation.
Yep.
The two of us would be essentially equal size side by side, and then everyone else would be in those smaller windows down below. If someone from the gallery or from the audience essentially speaks, then they will jump into one of those larger windows. But again, that's really only for larger scenarios.
Okay.
If you want, if you do have something like that, and you want me to just come in and change that, just shoot me a note, obviously with more than a couple minutes of advance notice, ideally, and I can change this for you. It's just for a single recording if need be. We're currently set to display participant names. We can turn that on or off. We can do themes. We can do sort of customized imagery in the sort of splash screens and the holding pages and those kinds of things. I just gave you kind of our generic images of skyscrapers theme, but if you decide down the road that you wanna make up 1080p branded Truth and IT images for you're on hold waiting for Dave to arrive or something, then we can upload those too.
Okay.
And then the only thing in the advanced is just this is that connection out to your YouTube link. So that's that key that you gave me.
Yep.
And then down here under aliases, these are the ways to access this room. So from a video conferencing system or from a Skype for Business client, you would dial this fully resolvable universal resource identifier, truthandit@pexipdemo.com. If you just hit the web browser experience like you did, you just go to Pexip Demo, and it says, what conference are you trying to reach? Just to simplify the amount of typing people have to do, we have a second version of it, which drops the @Pexip Demo part. And then if you have someone who is stuck at the airport or needs an audio-only connection for some reason, they need a purely numeric identifier to access this conference, and that's currently set here. So if they have to touch tone in, what they're trying to reach from literally a cell phone dialing that New York area code number that I gave you.
Okay.
And this can be changed as well. So I just randomly guessed 4 digits that weren't taken by anything else. But if you have some if you have some other number you want to put in there, we can change that too.
Okay.
That all makes sense?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So the last thing I want to show you is for you specifically. We have just because you'll be sort of using the system with some frequency.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like to have a fully installed PEXIP application in your operating system,
Mm-hmm.
rather than having to open up a browser and navigate to the right
Mm-hmm.
place,
Mm-hmm.
then you can download and install. We have a Windows and a Mac version of the same experience you're having in your browser now.
Mm-hmm.
It's the exact same technology. It runs on the same WebRTC stack.
Mm-hmm.
It's just often a little bit more accessible to have it
Yeah.
as a fully installed app than having to
Yep.
go to a bookmark in a browser or something.
Yeah. Okay. Fabulous. That's great.
What else can I tell you? What other questions do you have?
I don't think I do. I think I'm going to have to play with it. I'm going to have to run a stream into Wowza and get it into my website and just play around with it, see how it looks. And I don't have any live ones scheduled for the moment, but yeah, it's great to know that we have this in our back pocket.
So your downstream workflow is you actually take the MP4 file off of YouTube and then you upload that into Wowza?
No, I think what we're going to do is when we go live, we will ask you to change the RTMP to a different destination, which would be a Wowza ingest.
Got it. Okay.
And then what we'll do, well, actually, now I have to think about that. I wonder if I can stream directly into my content management system, because my content management system takes an HLS.
That is a different protocol than RTMP.
Yeah. So do you guys broadcast HLS? Okay. So it may be that my system will just use RTMP and I could bypass Wowza altogether. I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
That would be interesting because then that would even save another step, which would be pretty cool. But if not, then we'll go to Wowza and then we ingest Wowza. I believe we ingest Wowza. I want to say maybe RTSP and HLS.
Those are real protocols. Yep.
So I don't recall exactly. So in any case, that's what we would do. That's the workflow that we have.
And if we need to, we can actually create two different meetings with two different behaviors. We could do like Truth and IT, Truth and IT Live, which kicks off a recording into Wowza or into something else, and then leave this one pointed at YouTube. So if you have a different,
that's a great idea.
If you have a different video on demand versus live broadcast workflow, we can point them at different systems.
That's awesome. Wowza does the recording as well, so it basically acts just like YouTube Live.
Okay. Yeah.
So all I have to do is flip a switch.
Okay, then if you can get us, well, I guess we can do it either way, but it may make more sense if you want to get off YouTube altogether to just replace the YouTube link with your Wowza link, and then we're done. Yeah.
So there may be some advantage to that. Actually, having both would be pretty cool because Wowza, really, I mean, it's great if you're going to go fully live, right? That's the whole idea behind it. But just if I'm not going to do live and use it as a recording mechanism, it really doesn't make sense. YouTube does make sense, and I can actually have a workflow where it goes into YouTube. I can have a transcript made, and there's advantages to doing it to YouTube as well.
Okay, cool. All right, then I think I'm going to say that the plan is we're going to leave this as is. You're going to figure out what the comparable RTMP link into Wowza would be.
Yep.
Send me that. I'll create truthandit.live or whatever naming convention we want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then when you hit that welcome page, you enter either Truth and IT or Truth and IT Live, and that launches whichever workflow you're targeting.
Yep. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, fabulous, fabulous. Okay, great, Spencer. This was a huge help.
Yeah. I very sincerely hope that your Patriots lose.
Thank you. So where are you? You are from
I grew up in
Philly?
Kansas City. Yeah, I grew up in Kansas City. I live in Princeton, New Jersey now. So
Okay.
I'm almost exactly halfway between New York and Philly.
Well, Princeton is a gorgeous place. That's for one. I love Princeton. I haven't been there in many years, but I love it there. Did you go to school there?
No. I went to school in Flint, Michigan, of all places.
Okay. But I have a dear friend of mine who's a huge KC fan. He's from Boston. I don't know why he's a KC fan, but he's a huge KC fan. And yeah, he thinks KC is the only team that could have beaten the Patriots in the playoffs. I don't know. I mean, Philly is pretty good. I mean, I think they deserve to be there. So it should be a good game.
I think it's going to be the same thing it always is. Every Patriots game, they're going to be down by 7 at halftime, and they're going to be up by 7-10 at the end.
Did you read? Happen to check out ESPN? Do you ever read Bill Barnwell?
No, I haven't.
So, I don't typically unless I'm bored, really pay that much attention to it. But this guy is a unbelievable blogger on ESPN. I mean, this guy gets down into the minutia of these games and analysis like probably nobody online. And he has this thing has to be, I bet it's like 10,000 words, this blog about the Patriots versus the Eagles. And he comes to the conclusion about how the Patriots have to beat the Eagles, basically like the only way that they can beat them. In fact, he said if Carson Wentz was quarterback, he would be picking the Eagles.
Wow.
So he said he thinks the only way they can beat them is for the Patriots to follow the blueprint of a horrible team this year, which was the Giants. Because the Giants are the only team that played Philly and really either beat them or pushed them right to the edge and ran them all over the field. And it's because they did the no huddle. They did it for 2 whole games. And they were the only team. It was the only team that did it against Philly.
Huh.
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty interesting.
That's interesting.
It's a cool read.
Yeah.
But in any case, I'm guessing most of the rest of the world does not want them to win. So.
Yes, they have a very rabid fan base and a very tightly compact space, and then most others are not big fans.
Yeah, but Philly fans are pretty crazy though. All in all.
Yeah. No. Eagles fans have their own. I wasn't super thrilled about the sort of the Michael Vick second chance era of the Eagles either. I mean, everyone's got their skeletons. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I was okay with it. I mean, I thought he paid his dues.
Yeah.
He paid his price to humanity, or however that phrase goes. But in any case, well. What did you think of Alex Smith?
Well, I mean, part of me's devastated because I love what he's done for the organization. I guess I wish him well, and to a degree, Andy Reid was brought in to achieve results that the team hasn't achieved. So, I mean, I get it, but I'll miss him.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. The quarterback is obviously hugely important, right? They got to have a touch. They got to be able to hang in the pocket. But, at the end of the day, if you have a line that can block and you've got running backs who can run and you've got a defense that can play, most quarterbacks can, I think, get the ball where it needs to go. Maybe they can't thread a needle, but I don't know. In any case.
Yeah.
All right.
One administrative thing I forgot to tell you. So you see in that roster list over on the left, you can as a host, you can control everybody else. So if you click on those folks, if you for whatever reason wanted to throw somebody out or they were having trouble hanging up or you wanted to administratively mute them or whatever, you have some control of people there.
Okay.
So if you wanted to throw somebody out or end the conference or whatever, you have all that stuff over in that menu.
actually brings up a couple brief questions. So with the chat, any chat, I'm guessing, will not be seen in the video stream or recording.
Correct. So the only way that would be on the recording is if someone, and that kind of gets back to the have a monitor or have a screen for sort of public facing external visibility, and then have your private, only I can see it, I'm doing my work screen. So sometimes if somebody gets confused and they hit that screen share button and they say share either like the only screen I have, or they say share in my browser with this thing running, then that interface is actually on the recording. And if you've got stuff, if you've got stuff in the chat that's not sort of acceptable for the video, then you've got to go in and edit the video.
I see that like every now and again an overlay will come over that says streaming enabled. I'm guessing the video will not capture that either.
That is correct. That is a security requirement that we have a well, I guess pseudo security. It's like a user notification requirement for products like this. If you're being recorded, you have to be made personally aware of it. So yes, that's what that means. But no, it does not do that little pop out, hey I'm here thing on the recording.
Okay. And then in the chat room, is it possible to chat one-to-one, or is sort of everybody chatting to everybody?
It is all to all. There is no private chat.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, excellent.
And there is no storage of that chat. So
I was just going to ask chat log.
Yeah,
okay.
So if you and I are chatting and we say here's the link to use as we talk about this topic in this webcast, and then someone joins 5 minutes later, they don't see it. We have to send them that link again.
Okay. Yeah, and I totally get it with the multiple monitors and having multiple, monitoring points, because there's a 30-second delay. So trying to sort of watch that at the same time as, talking live is, makes you crazy.
Yeah. Do you actually do green screen stuff there? Is that what the backdrop is for? Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. And I've had people say, oh, my God, I love your office. Where are you? Totally. Sometimes it shows. It depends on the lighting. It depends on how fussy I get with it. But, for the most part, I can pull it off, especially if it's a small shot of me. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing the first one.
Okay.
And if you have anything else in the meantime, you know how to reach me.
Will do. Spencer, thanks so much. Have a great weekend.
Of course. Yep. Thanks, Dave. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Your call will be disconnected.